a good friend of the show, Scott Pritchard, PGA Tour Americas Vice President. Scott, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It is so good to see you here in person. I think we've done this 3 or 4 years consecutively here, I want to say. What's this week like for you?
It's an exciting week. We, from PGA Tour Americas, we have 48 players that have played our tour that are in the field. In fact, just on the rink hole right now, Danny Walker.
Oh yeah,
who finished had a good finish at the Players. He won here on our tour on the Heathlands course.
There you go.
So it's like a homecoming for him. And there's a lot of players that are familiar with the property. You think of players like Jake Knapp. He finished second here along with Taylor Pendrith. Back in 2019, so I was actually talking to Hayden Buckley, who won the ATP Classic on our tour in Calgary. He's playing this week. He actually played that week. He said to me, that week I birdied the last 3 holes to get to 20 under, and he's like, I was fist pumping, and he finished like T8 because I think it was 26 under at the time on the old course, well, the same course but old layout, if you will. So yeah, there's lots of players in the field that have familiarity with the facility, and hopefully that will help some of them as they come down the stretch on Sunday.
That 48 player number is huge, and that's incredible. What's it like for you to see graduates have success who have gone through PGA Tour Americas and now are not only playing on the PGA Tour but winning on the PGA Tour?
Yeah, I mean, we've had over 100 players graduate from our tour to the PGA Tour, and over 40 wins by that group. So, I think there's the easiest way to explain it would be a sense of pride. Seeing these players, for us as a staff, playing a small role in their trajectory as they ascend to the PGA Tour, and that's really the goal that all of these players have. So to see them reach their goal of getting to the PGA Tour and competing on the PGA Tour brings a great sense of pride.
We're going to get into PGA Tour Americas and the North American Swing coming up, but I understand you have a story about how this golf course became part of the TPC family. Tell us about that.
I do. So back in 2013, around that time frame when we started PGA Tour Canada, the commissioner of the PGA Tour at the time, Tim Fincham, essentially tasked Jeff Monday and I, who was the former president of PGA Tour Canada, to find a potential TPC facility in Canada. There was really an effort to grow the TPC brand internationally, and so we, as luck would have it, Brad Pinnell, who was the general manager at Point Grey when we played our event there for a number of years, left Point Grey to come here, and that's around the same time that Chris Humanuk took essentially control of the facility from with his family, but became the leader here. And one day, Brad and I were catching up for a beer, and I mentioned, what about Osprey Valley as a potential TPC facility? And Brad right away was like, I love it. Let me talk to Chris. And so he brought it to Chris, and Chris loved the idea. At the time, the vision that he had aligned with what the TPC brand could bring in terms of international recognition of the facility. And so from there, we brought up the TPC team and did a site tour. And at the time, there was nothing here. It was just the golf courses, the old clubhouse. And, for them, they saw the vision. Chris obviously did a great job of laying out the idea of what he had for here. No clubhouse at the time, and I give those guys a lot of credit for being able to see the golf courses as anyone in the GTA or anyone that's ever been here know that the golf courses are strong, and so from there things took off. So we talk about pride with the players. That's a sense of pride for us as well to have a TPC facility in Canada, and obviously now hosting the RBC Canadian Open.
And when PGA Tour Americas was here back in September, we had a very different weather week, didn't we? It was blowing hard, and
yes.
What 10 guys under par for the week? Do I have that right?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it's around there or even less.
Yeah, right. So what we saw yesterday was, at any golf course, when the best players in the world are playing with softer conditions, if they hit the fairway, they're going to throw darts here. But now that the weather, it seems like we're going to get some breeze, some sun, that sort of thing. What kind of test are you expecting this golf course to be?
Yeah, I think I kind of predicted, and I'm not much into the prediction business because I often am proved wrong, but I kind of thought it was going to be in that 16 under range. When we played here in September, it was very cold. It was wet. 5 under, 1. The course is long. I mean, if you listen to any of the interviews from the players, especially Bob doing the great stories with the Canadians, they'll tell you it's playing long, but it's also gettable in spots. And so I think the players that play those long holes at par or better are gonna have a chance to win. But yesterday they were playing lift, clean, and play, so that's another element to add to the elements, if you will. But I think it'll stand up. I think it's a beast. It's a beast. And if the wind blows, I mean, we're not looking at much wind today. I'm hearing 19-kilometer wind gusts, so that's not much.
Yeah.
But I think the guys that teed off in the morning yesterday, they're going to get the wind in the afternoon, so there would be word around the locker room, things like that. I got a bad draw, which is the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
But you don't often see 9 under in an afternoon round. It's typically the guys in the morning get out to a good start and set the pace for the day, and those numbers usually hold up in the morning. Like Taylor's 5 under, I thought was a pretty good score, but then you see a couple 9 unders. So, but I think I don't think you'll see that. But these guys are they're so good that you'll see. You could potentially see someone run away with it.
Yeah, totally. And Mark and I know firsthand how long this course is because we played in the Celebrity Pro-Am on Monday. And Mark thought it'd be a good idea to tip it out. And not only
like Mark.
Yeah, not only did we tip it out, we were one step off the back because they're preserving all the tee decks. So we're playing probably closer to like 7,600 yards. Yeah. My back's still a little sore from some of the plays from the rough there. But it's a great facility, and I've loved this tournament so far. But getting back to PGA TOUR Americas, it's been a great season so far. The North American swing gets going in July. Is that right?
Yeah, so June 30th, the week of June 30th, so first week of July, Canada Day, we'll have some celebrations and festivities at our event, the Explorer New Brunswick Open, which we're really excited to get started. We're currently conducting some qualifying schools for players to have access to the remaining 10 events in the season. We'll conduct our final one in PEI at Mill River, which they're super excited to host the Q School. I think some of the players that are just turning pro, it'll feel like a professional event to them because there's a ton of volunteers, as you would expect in the East Coast, that have stepped up. They're talking about feeding lobster dinners and things like that. So that we're excited to. We did that strategically, having the Q School in Prince Edward Island, close proximity to the start of the event in Fredericton, and then from there we get going.
Yeah, and I'm so excited for the rest of the PGA Tour Americas season, and not to put you on the spot, Scott, but I think you knew I was going to ask you this question because every time you come on the show, you rattle off every event here. There's no script, there's no teleprompter.
Right.
What's the rest of the schedule look like, big picture?
Yeah, so we fundamentally changed the cadence, if you will, of the tournament schedule, where traditionally we would jump around, where we would start in the West and we would jump to the East and then go back to the West and finish in the East and sometimes finish in the West. So this year, for the first time in a very long time, we're starting in the East. So we explore New Brunswick Open, then we go to the Bromont Open, presented by Desjardins Insurance. And then from there we have a week off, Commissioner's Ottawa Open, presented by Le Pin Apartments, which we just signed to a 4-year deal, which we're excited about. We've got some more announcements coming with respect to the Commissioner's Ottawa Open. Then we come right here to the Osprey Valley Open. We're playing on the Heathlands course, which we're really excited, and I know the guys here are excited for. And then we have the BioSteel Championship in Windsor at Ambassador, and they're plugging away down there, doing very well. Then we take a week off. We go to the Manitoba Open at Breezy Bend. We just signed a deal there, 5-year rotation with clubs within the city. So this is the first year that we'll be at Breezy Bend, which we're excited about. Then we go to the CRMC Championship presented by Northern Pacific Center in Brainerd, Minnesota. A former Tournament of the Year on PGA Tour Americas, so they're doing a great job down there. Then we have another week off. We head to Edmonton, Northern Bear for the ATB Classic. and then that's followed by the Times Colonist Victoria Open, penultimate event, and then the Fortinet Cup Championship at Morgan Creek in Vancouver. So we're really excited about going to Morgan Creek. They've never hosted an event of this magnitude. Tom and Megan at Morgan Creek are doing a fantastic job. We'll have some partnership announcements there. A player in this field will be involved in a charity outing on the Monday, which I'm not at liberty to discuss at this point.
We can talk off air, Scott.
Yes,
okay.
but lots of exciting things happening in and around PGA TOUR Americas.
Okay, again, there was no script in front of you. There's no secret teleprompter over there. You've done it again. Oh man, I always love when you do that. And what I love on this show, and I've told you this 100 times, I'll tell you it again. I love speaking with the winners on PGA Tour Americas. In fact, Davis Lamb, the last time we had a winner on the show, he said, "Whenever I get a text from Adam Scully, I know it's a big day." And we've actually clipped that as a drop, and we're going to use it on every show here.
Awesome.
Moving forward. But Scott, it's a busy time. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Thank you for reeling off the entire schedule on PGA Tour Americas, and we have much more PGA Tour Americas coverage coming up throughout the season on Golf Talk Canada.
Appreciate it. I'm glad you didn't ask me the dates, because that would be a whole new
maybe we'll save that for next year. Yeah, the dates of the works. But yeah, that's Scott Pritchard, the Vice President of PGA Tour Americas.